Today our discussion is related to logical and Boolean manipulation instructions. Now the Boolean variable manipulation instructions are very important in the control operations, where basically the received bitwise and the commands are also sent in similar way. That is, there are many control applications where we require only say one bit of information to switch it on or off. In those cases we don't need to send the entire byte of a data to control the system. In those cases we can just go for a generally the information is in bitwise and commands are set in similar fashion so that the bits are used to control the equipment or any of the devices which are turned on or off by just using one bit of information. Now suppose the example that are being discussed here is only one bit to store the information received from a light dependent resistor indicating whether it's light or dark. That means suppose you want to capture any relevant information from a LDR. LDR is a sensor which actually it is a light dependent resistor. That means depending on the intensity of the light, the resistance of this particular device changes, but that is along with certain devices, linear integrated devices, we can make a circuit which can provide us information in one bit information which will reveal whether the outside light is either dark or there is light or absence of light, so that particular information can be stored into the system using the information received from the LDR. Now again, if we are talking about a pump, it can be switched on or off using a single bit command. So let us have a look at the different type of mnemonics related to Boolean variable manipulation. We have CLR, which actually is used for clearing the bit. Then we have set B, it is for setting the bit. Now we have move. We use a category of move instruction which will be used to move the bit. Then we have a jump if carry. Now jump instruction will be executed if there is a carry in the PSW, and jump if not carry. That means if there is no carry in the PSW flag, then the jump will be executed. Similarly, we have jump if the bit is set, that is JB, and jump if the bit is not set. So here are certain examples which can be used for Boolean manipulation, and these are categorized under Boolean manipulation instructions. Let's have a look at those instructions with examples. Now in case of byte variables, it is the accumulator which stores the result in most of the operations. In MCS 51, in most of the operations, the results are usually stored in accumulator. And for bit variables, it is the carry flag of PSW which serves the purpose. Okay, so the bit variables may be stored or manipulated only from a limited area of internal RAM, which is the bit addressable area, and it should be available within the bit addressable area of the RAM or within the bit addressable SFRs, whatever the special function registers which are capable of handling bit addressable. So here we can see we have a direct address for register B, which is F0, but there are certain other bits which can be addressed using F0. F0 actually is used to address the entire register, but again the F0 also means the first LSB, then F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6 and F7. Similarly, we have the accumulator. It is also an SFR, and the entire address, the direct address is E0. But again, if it is bit addressable, then the other addresses like E0, E1, E2, E3, E4 and so on are the bit addresses. So similarly, other registers which are available in the SFRs can be are actually bit addressable. Now MCS 51 offers three mnemonics for bitwise data load and movement operation. CLR, set B and move. Now if we are talking about a CLR instruction, which is actually we can say clearing operation, here CLRC, it is actually clear the carry. CLR bit, it actually clears the address bit. Now let's have a look at the CLRC. In this case we can see that the CLRC instruction is a 1 byte instruction and the operational code is C3 hex. So it requires one cycle operation, and only flag that gets affected is CY. Fine. So in this case what we can see that C, only the carry flag gets affected, rather other flags are not affected. So suppose the instruction is written in the program memory across 01 FD. We have written C3, that means the operational code of CLRC. So when that particular instruction gets executed, what happens is the content of CY becomes 0. Whatever be the initial content of CY, after execution of CLRC, the content of PSW, that is the location reserved for carry flag, will become 0. Now let's have a look at CLR78. Now CLR78 type of an instruction is a 2 byte instruction, though it requires only one cycle, but none of the flags get affected. But this is a bit different type of an instruction. Now in this case to complete the instruction, we'll have to write the operational code at 01 FD location, and then followed by 78. Now what the 78 means, the 78 here means the initial LSB address, which is shown in this particular diagram, and so this particular location will get the 0. That means whatever be suppose the location is 2F, suppose this is the location 2F, but it is pointed by 78, this is the initial location, and if there is something here, it will be erased, that bit will get erased and the location will have 0 in it. Okay, so so what you can see here, the least significant bit of bit addressable by 2F is shown, and the bit address of which would be 78 hex. Okay, so that 78 hex, the CLR 78 hex instruction is executed, then that particular bit would contain 0. So none of the flags can get affected in this particular instruction. Only the thing that gets erased is the bit that is targeted. Okay, so that particular bit is now reset to 0. Okay, now it has to be noted that any port bit may also be cleared by this instruction, as all port SFRs are bit addressable. So again we'll have to remember that using this instruction we can also clear the bits of any port, since all the ports are bit addressable. So this is the meaning of this particular instruction. Now let's see what set B instruction means. In case of set B, instead of loading a bit by 0, this instruction sets it. That means it loads it with 1. So if we have the instruction set BC, means set the carry to 1. So whatever be the initial condition, it is 1. And if we use set B bit, that means set addressable bit as 1. So whenever we are talking about the addressable bit, we'll have to mention it in the instruction, and that particular position gets data 1, or it is set to 1. So in this case, 1 byte instruction and CY flag is set to 1, and none of the other flags get affected. Now let's have a look at the instruction. In this case, we can see the operational code of set BC is given as D3, and it is again written across the program memory location 01FD, and when it is executed by the microcontroller, the PSW section reserved for the carry will now become 1, irrespective of the previous information that was there in CY. So, and in this case, no other flags are affected. Now if we again have set B78 hex, we can see that the location, the bit addressable location, the bit address is 78, and that particular location would now contain 1 after execution of set B78 hex. And in this case, no other flags get affected. Now if we talk about the move instruction, and in this case for bit variable movement only we have move C comma bit and move bit comma C. These are the two instruction types or the variations available. Not all transactions are either to or from the CY flag, that is a carry flag, making it either a destination or a source. Any directly addressed bit from SFR or bit address area may serve the purpose of sending or receiving the data, and it may also be noted that there is no instruction which allows data movement between two directly addressable bits as source and destination. So these are the few restrictions, and these are the few availabilities of or the feasibility, or what you can say is the possibilities that are available in case of move instruction. And in case of move instruction, when we are talking about bit addressable, or when we are talking about single bit. So these are the variations, and let us have a watch at the example. In this case, move C, again move C comma 78. So in this case, what is happening is execution of move C bit instruction illustrated through this figure. We can see that there may be some information available across this. That is the bit address, which is given as 78 hex, and the A2 is the operational code of move C, so followed by the address, that is the 78. So whenever this particular instruction gets executed, the content across this particular bit address 78 hex, whether it is 0 or 1, that will be sent to CY. So the address of this bit is 78 hex, and the instruction is 2 byte, but it is taking only 1 cycle to execute it, and the second byte of the instruction stores the bit address. So in this case, no other flag except the carry flag are affected. And if the address bit is an IO port bit, then the data would be taken from the input pin and not from the output latch. Now if we talk about the move instruction, which is move 78 hex comma C, in this case the reverse thing happens. Again in this case the operational code is 92, and we have the bit address as 78. So in this case what's happening is the content, the bit address 78, and the content of the CY, that is the carry flag, whether it is 0 or 1, will be transferred to this particular location. Now if we now go to the section where we will be discussing the jump instructions corresponding to a particular bit value, that is in this case we are talking about JC instruction. So JC, JNC, JB, JNB and JBC offered by MCS 51 all are bit oriented. So by the term bit here we mean that it is related to the carry flag or any addressable bit. Okay, so all of these instructions use the relative jumping mode, similar to the SJMP instructions that were discussed earlier in our lecture sessions. And in this case we can see that we have an instruction JC 57 hex. So when the operational code 40 is executed, it is followed by 57. So in this case, during this particular operation, the carry flag is studied. Now if the carry flag is 1 and if it is set, only then this particular condition is true, and hence it has to jump to the location which is the relative address, and that is calculated by the next location, that is 01FF. The lower half of it will get added with 57, and the address that we get, it will jump to that particular location. So after doing that, it jumps to this particular location. Now it all will depend on the value that is given after 40. So it all depends where you want to make it jump. So depending on that, you will have to provide the address here. In our example, it's 57. In your example, it may be something else. But we always have to remember that we follow the strategies that is being allowed in MCS 51. Now, a bit oriented program branching here, the concept of JC 57, we have just discussed that. But in this case, if the carry flag is 0 in the PSW, if the carry flag is 0, then the condition fails and it will not execute the jump statement. Rather, it will move to the next location where we can find the next instruction. Now have a look at the reverse of it, that is jump if there is no carry. So in this case everything remains the same. Only thing now, the condition that is being checked is whether the carry flag is having 0 or not. So if it is having 0, then jump to that particular location after adding the lower half of the address with the given relative address, that we have to add them up, and then when it when we calculate that, it jumps to that particular location. These are the things that we have already discussed earlier in earlier sections. So what happens to the other when we are talking about JNC? Now if the carry flag is 1, so the condition is false in this particular case. So there is a carry, hence it will not jump, since we are talking about JNC instruction. So if there is no carry, then jump, and if there is a carry, then you don't have to jump, you will have to execute the very next instruction. Fine. Now let's move to JB. Now here also it is the same thing, but in this case it is bit complex. Now it is a 3-byte instruction, and it takes 2 cycles, and none of the flags get affected. Now in this case what happens is we have the operational code, which is 20, which is written across 01 FD. Now after execution of that, there is a bit address provided, that is 78. Now the condition is it will check that particular location. Now suppose this particular location is having 1. This is the bit address 78, and here the content is 1. So now the jump will be executed, and jump will be executed after adding the 00 location with F7. So once we do that, this is remember we are doing this in the 2's complement manner, where actually it is the algebraic summation, so it actually is going back to 01 F7. So what we get here is the main thing is, after the execution of 20, the controller now is having 78, which will be treated as the bit address, and it will reach that particular location and find out the content there. And if it is 1, then the jump is executed, and jump will be executed depending on the value given here, that is value given here across 01 FF. So it all depends on the way you want or where you want to make it to jump. You have to change this particular content as per your choice. Now what happens when the other thing when this particular content is 0, so the condition fails, and when this condition fails, it will not jump, rather it will go to the next step where we can find the next instruction. Now let's have a look at the reverse instruction, that is, we were talking about JB, now we are talking about JNB. Now when we are talking about JNB, the condition will be true when the location which has been provided is having a 0 content, and similarly it will fail if the location that has been provided is having 1. It is just the reverse of JB. So in this case the jump is not executed, rather the next instruction, that is across the 0200, is getting executed. So now let's move on to the bit oriented logical operations. And in the bit oriented logical operations, we are now discussing ANLC and ANLC / bit. It is the complement of the address provided. Now let's discuss this using a simple example. Now if you see, we have ANLC, 78. Now what does this mean? Now the operational code of ANLC is AG2, and 78 is again the location, the bit address location. Now what it will do is, it will AND the content of carry flag with the content across 78, that is the bit address content. The 78 is the bit address, so content here is 0, and the previous content of CY was say 1. So that 1 and the content of this 0 will get ANDed, and now it is 0. It will be stored in the carry location. So similarly, here what we are doing is, here it is the complement part of it. Now if you look into this very carefully, again the operational code is B0. Now here it means the bit address content will be complemented. So the bit address is 78 and the content is 0, but that will be treated as 1. And if the initial content of CY is 1, so 1 and 1 ANDed will be give a 1 result, and that will be saved in CY. So this is how actually the ANL is carried out, that is the ANDing is carried out. Okay, now again we have the similar type of operation that is possible in case of ORing. The instruction variation is ORLC, bit address, and ORLC, / bit address. That means the complement, the content is complemented. So again in this example we can see that the previous content of carry flag was 1 and the content across 78 is 0. So while ORing it, the result is 1 and it will be saved in the carry flag location itself. Now in this case, the previous content was 1 and the content across 78 is 0, but it will be treated as the complemented part. So it will be complemented to 1. So 1 and 1, again 1 will be stored in the carry flag location. So now if we talk about the CPL, now CPL here means complementing or providing a NOT operation. So in this case we have two instructions, that is CPLC, CPL bit, and in this case if you look into this particular instruction where we are talking about CPLC, in CPLC the operational code is B3. So when the operational code B3 is executed by the microcontroller MCS51, what will happen is the previous content of CY gets complemented. So it becomes 1 and that particular 1 is stored in the CY. So after the execution of this particular instruction, the previous content of CY gets complemented and the complemented result will be stored in CY. In this case we have considered initially was 0, it gets 1 and it is saved in CY, but other thing is also true. If the initial content is 1, it will become 0 and that will be stored in the carry flag location. Now if you talk about 78 hex with CPL, again 78 hex, here is the bit address. So in this case what we can see is when the microcontroller executes this particular instruction, it will now move on to the location which is the bit address 78 hex. Here the content is assumed to be 1 initially, so it will become 0 and that particular 0 will be saved here. So after the execution of this particular instruction, the bit address which has been given here, that particular content, across that particular content will be complemented. If it is initially 1, it will become 0 after the execution of the instruction, and if was initially 0, it will become 1. So this is all about today's lecture, and in this lecture we have seen the Boolean manipulation instructions and how we can also go for logical operations, bitwise logical operation. There were certain instructions which were dealing with movement. So this particular lecture was main objective of this particular lecture was to have a look at the Boolean manipulation instructions with examples, including logical instructions also. So hope the lecture was lucid and you were able to have a basic understanding of the Boolean manipulation instructions. Thank you very much.